Crime time stories with that Crescent City feel. If you're new, sit down, let's begin the show. And to my loyal supporters, I'm glad you're in the flow. It's the city of soul, where the streets got flair. From the French Quarter beats to the Bayou air. This is more than a channel, it's a whole mood. We're talking life, love, and that southern groove. Like, comment, subscribe, come back again. It's MOCA's NOLA Bells, where the real begins. Crime time stories with a thoughtful spin. If you're down for the truth, then let's lock it in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to stay. Breaking down the cases in a bold new way. Every viewer, every fan, y'all part of the crew. This is MOCA's NOLA Bells, and we're here for you.
Shining so bright. Whether you're new or you're back again, it's love, it's family. Let the fun begin.
We're here to connect, bring joy to your day. Style, soul, and stories in a unique way. From New Orleans roots to the world we inspire. Every click, every view takes us higher and higher. This is your space where you can feel free. A community built with authenticity. So grab your coffee, hit play and unwind. Your seat at the table is one of a kind.
Like, comment, subscribe. It's your time to shine. Be part of the family, one of a kind. Whether it's your first time or you've been here before, we've got so much love waiting for you and more. MOCA's NOLA Bells, where the queens unite. Serving southern charm with a touch of that spice. We're about that love, we're about that style. Come along for the ride and stay for a while. MOCA's NOLA Bells, it's the vibe for you.
If you're new, pull up, make yourself at home. This is where we vibe, where the bells have grown. And if you're returning, thanks for coming through. We wouldn't be here without queens like you. We're serving you content that uplifts and inspires. From beauty and life hacks to chasing desires. This is more than a channel, it's where magic begins. Together we rise, together we win.
Like, comment, subscribe. It's your time to shine. Be part of the family, one of a kind. Whether it's your first time or you've been here before, we've got so much love waiting for you and more. MOCA's NOLA Bells, where the queens unite. Serving southern charm with a touch of that spice. We're about that love, we're about that style. Come along for the ride and stay for a while. MOCA's NOLA Bells, it's the vibe for you.
Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Every little click shows how much you care. We're building this space, making something divine. Welcome to the Bells, you're already in line. So if you're new, welcome, glad you stopped by. And to the OG fam, you're the reason we fly. Hit that button, subscribe, and come back again. It's MOCA's NOLA Bells, where the magic begins.
Where the fuck she at? Say it loud! NaZiyah.
MOCA and the NOLA Bells just pulled up. Big body bitches, Roxy, Annette, Shannon, Marquita. Where the fuck is NaZiyah? Hey, where NaZiyah? That baby was 13. Told her teacher I need to talk, then dipped off the scene. Sick on the floor, y'all ain't even blink. Now she gone and we demand a link.
Where the fuck she?
She cried for help.
So sad.
Y'all played it small. Whole system call. Y'all let that girl fall. CPS fake.
That's fake.
The school ain't care. Called y'all up. Nobody was there.
We see.
Now she missing. Now y'all press. She been dying inside while y'all just guessed. You failed her. Jarvis locked.
Guacamole.
Well, dummy, all them calls, all them signs, but y'all kept capping, all of y'all getting time. Annette, you mean spiteful witch? Let that baby suffer with a known-ass pedophile, bitch. Who's that? Nah, Marquita, y'all slow-head twins look like pain, bitch. This ain't never gonna end. Y'all cap real bad, posting online. What did y'all do? What did she say to you? No, BK, I need to talk. That's all she said, nobody did shit. Left school and that was it. Not saying you did it, but y'all ain't innocent. Where the fuck she at? Mocha's Nola Bells, we ain't finished. Roxy popped up, bitch, sit out. Like she been fam, wanted to be seen. GoFundMe's, balloon games, t-shirts, flyers, y'all moving strange. Now you say it loud, NaZiyah Harris, only 13. She deserved love, not damage. This, that, platinum plus pen for justice, for fire. And this pressure, it don't expire. We not done. We not done. We not done. Jarvis locked.
Hello, 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 everybody. Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. See, everyone is up in here. Everyone is up in here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is so good to see you all. I took that little break yesterday and I miss you all. I really did, but that break was much needed. But I'm back. I'm back, and we got some things to cover. We got some things to cover. Again, welcome, welcome, welcome. Everyone here is somebody. No big eyes, no little U's. Everyone is respected. All opinions matter. I ask that we all remain respectful in the chat. You respect your neighbor will respect you. And that's what we do here. That's what we do here. We are one big happy family. We're going to be touching on a subject tonight that's, kind of touchy. I saw Toots live last night, so I'm going to, we're gonna discuss a little bit of what I heard from Toots live. I watched it this morning, and oh my God. And the one thing I asked, because we all have our feelings on this, And, I kind of felt too when she said what she said at the end of her interview about the subscribers not being respectful. As people, as humans, we can't dictate how another feels, And the young lady that told her story, who are we? Who are we, knowing that she was in that situation, to call her a liar? Who are we, to bash her when she's been through so much and is still not healed? Who are we? There's a time and a place for everything. When there's a moment for compassion, please give it. Please give it. We're not here to tear down. We're here to bring awareness. We're here to bring awareness to a situation that needs a lot of attention. But if we as a people continue to tear down a victim's truth, that's a problem. That is truly a problem. And that's something I don't stand for. And I'm pretty much like two, But I'm not going to leave you two. I'm going to be right here with you guys because I love you guys and I know you love me more. And we're going to rock this out. We're going to rock this out, but I'm going to get on in here and speak to my people. And, we're going to get this thing started. Hey, Kimberly, happy Friday, my love. Welcome to the chat. Dr. J, hey, sister. Christian, hey, my beautiful sis. Welcome, welcome. Sister Living Live, hey, boo. Hey, Auntie Novi, happy Friday, beautiful. Sandy Marie, hey, my girl, happy Friday. Hi, Amma. Happy Friday to you as well. Sunday Mac, hey, beautiful. Sunday Mac says, we made it through another week and another day with Queen MOCA. Hey there, everyone. Hey, beautiful. Hey, DA. How are you? Yours truly. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, Jordan. Welcome, welcome. Ariana, welcome to the chat. Happy Friday. Hey, Paula. How are you, my love? Hey, Desperate Sacrifices. Welcome, welcome. Jordan, welcome, boo. Brother Shank, welcome. Hey, Sassy, welcome, boo. Hey, Jazzy, welcome to the chat, my girl. Hi, Gina. Thwana, hey, cousin. What's going on? Hey, Meek and Ellie. Happy Friday. Hi, Ann. Happy Friday to you. Janet, hello. Happy Friday. Hi, Patricia. Hey, Kenyatta, welcome, boo. Shauna, welcome, my love. Welcome. Hey, Sister Rod. Hey, Tracy, welcome, boo. Hey, Jazz, welcome. Hi, Belinda. Ray of fucking sunshine. Hello, hello. I'm getting there. Exactly. Where? NYC, girl. Hi, PJ. Welcome, boo. Hi, Sharon. Welcome. Hi, Paula number 2. Welcome, boo. Betty, welcome to the chat, my love. Ina, welcome. Hey, Denise, welcome, boo. Happy Friday. I see you, Patricia. I see you, girl. So here we are. I don't want to miss nobody. Miss Sean B, hey, baby. Top Flight, hey, sis. April, welcome. Kalia, welcome, baby. Welcome. 80s, baby. Welcome. Mariah, welcome, boo. All right, let's see. NYC girl says, right, those people should be ashamed of themselves for bashing that victim. It took a lot for her to get on that panel to tell her story. I believe every word she said and praying for her. NYC girl, that part. That part. Meek said some people judge her story without fully listening to her. I had a question, but her story was highly believable. We're talking about Jarvis and exactly. Exactly, Meek. Alina, happy Friday. Hey, Mina. Janice, hey, baby. All right, Miss Bill, hey, sweetheart. So this is where we are. This is where we are, guys. Right? Tonight, y'all, it's not about sugarcoating. It's about making people comfortable. It's not about making people comfortable. It's about calling out the monsters hiding in plain sight. Huh? And the silence. The silence, guys, that protects them. We're talking about young girls, little brown and black girls, being assaulted, groomed, and possibly trafficked. Not only in Detroit, but it's hot in Detroit right now. We're talking about Jarvis Butts. We're talking about auto shops turning into hunting grounds. And we're talking about the people who knew and said nothing. Tonight, this isn't just a live stream. It's a call to action, guys. It's a call to action. So for everyone that's here and all you that's in the bushes, understand, you're either part of the solution or you continue to be a part of the silence. This conversation is for the voiceless, for the girls who were ignored, for the families that's still searching. If you know something, say something. If you've survived, just know you're not alone. You're not alone. How many girls have to go missing before we call it trafficking? And that's where I'm stuck. This makes no sense, at least not to me. So, piggybacking off of Toot's live last night, like I said, I watched it this morning. Piggybacking off of her live last night, Toot asked the question. She asked her, how did she and Jarvis meet? And she went on to explain that she met Jarvis in a chat. Like a chat. Wow, okay. She met Jarvis in a chat, on a chat line. She said she had just turned 18 or so. And she was living in Saginaw, Michigan. But when she met Jarvis, he presented himself as a pretty good person, a decent person. He introduced himself as, he went by the name of Jay. That's all she knew him by was Jay. He made her feel comfortable. Comfortable enough for her to agree to meet him after them speaking a month on the phone. They finally meet. He gets there, he meets her family. They question him about it's the ordinary questions. I need a phone number. You're taking my daughter away for the weekend. Where are you going? Things of that nature. They question him on that. So it appears that she came from a type of family that truly loved their children and was also very protective. So upon her family meeting Jarvis for the first time, the questions that they asked, and they rightfully so, they should have asked, And while doing all that, not only did they get a phone number, they also took his license plate. Oh, Lord. Now, prior to Jarvis actually meeting her in person, the mindset of this sick, nasty ass person that Jarvis is, he actually believed that this young lady had a baby. He believed she had a baby. I'm going to stop right there. And the only reason I'm going to stop right there is because there are 170 people in here and MOCA only have 39 likes, and that's not going to work. That's not going to work. So I don't ask for much. I definitely don't ask for much. And I shouldn't have to go through this every time I hop on live. Really shouldn't have to go through this. 190 people and 30 likes, something is terribly wrong with that. Terribly wrong with that. Because you're here for a reason. Definitely here for a reason. And I don't want to take intermissions because that's not who I am. But I could easily switch gears. I can easily switch gears. The like button is right there and it's definitely free. It's definitely free. Dr. J, what's the number, babe? It's definitely free. So here we are. Here we are. For some sick reason, 91 is looking good. That's better, but hit the like button, guys. For some sick reason, Jarvis was under the impression this young lady had a baby. Why would that even matter? Why would it even matter? But she had a baby she was caring for. That baby was not hers. Almost a year old. So I'm wondering, what was his fascination with her having a baby? Is the perversion for me. Is the sick, twisted perversion for me. So Jarvis is sitting there holding a conversation with her, the parents, and she said he even held the baby. So now that I had the little chit chats, it's time to leave. It's time to leave. When she go outside, Jarvis had a van parked outside. She said once she got in the van, she notices that they're not alone. She notices that they're not alone. There was a driver. There was a driver. Why would Jarvis need a driver? Why would Jarvis need a driver? That right there, suspect to me. Very suspect to me. Not only did he have a driver, but she said when she got in that van, there were curtains. There was curtains. She said she didn't think much of it. She didn't think much of it. She got in the van, went about her business with Jarvis. She was supposed to be going for a weekend. So as they're leaving Saginaw, she said they took a route that she would take all the time, so she knew exactly where she was. But then, once they get outside of the city and the driver took a different route. The driver took a different route. She went on to say that at this point she's lost because nothing is looking familiar to her, and more so what makes it hard or impossible for her to identify anything is those goddamn curtains was over the windows. So she went on to say that when the van finally stops, the driver stops at his house. She wasn't able to identify the location of the driver's home, but she did say that it was somewhere between Saginaw and Detroit. And she explained how big of a house he was. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that super chat, Mina. But she knew wherever she was, it was past Flint, Michigan. She said the one thing that she noticed about the driver after pulling up at the house was that there were some wealthy people. Wealthy people. We're going to talk about it. The driver and Jarvis didn't go inside. They do whatever the hell it is that they had to do, and then they proceed to come back outside, and they left. They left. Now they're driving, heading towards Detroit. While driving, she said Jarvis tells the driver, take her to the spot where she's going to be working at. She said she just looked at Jarvis all confused. The driver pulls up at that building, and Jarvis opened up the curtains to the van and say to her, this is where you're going to be making my fucking money at. This is where you're going to be making me my money. What the fuck you mean, nigga? She said that while looking out the window to where she said she was supposed to be working, she notices the red building. In front of that red building, many prostitutes was hanging outside of it. At this point, she's nervous. At this point, she's nervous. She's also fearful. She's questioning herself. Like, oh Lord, what the hell have I gotten myself into? She says 5 minutes later, after showing her where she was going to be working for him, they pulled up at a house that looked condemned and raggedy. And as ragged as that motherfucker looked, she said it had electricity and running water. This house was the house of Jarvis' grandmother. And that is the same house that he kept her in. So as she was telling her story, Toot did a little research and Toot went to looking for the house as to what she described. When Toot went looking for that house, sure enough, in 2013, that white and green house popped up. So far, this young lady's story is her story. And my heart was crying for her as she told a story. She said it was getting dark when they actually arrived at the grandma's house. She walked up the steps. There was a black gate, then a screen door, then a big door. She said once she got inside, Jarvis turns around and he locked the screen door with the key because the doors had no handle on it, no doorknobs, none whatsoever. So at some point she remembers on the ride to the grandma's house, Jarvis told her, bitch, as soon as you get in my house, you're gonna pick up a mop and a broom and you go clean my fucking floors. So at this point, Jarvis done a whole 360 on her. A whole 360. She said that's when she knew he wasn't playing. She thought it was gonna hit different once she gave him a little pussy. She said she thought it would hit different, but it didn't. It didn't. Jarvis went on to tell a bitch, look, you think I'm playing? This ain't no game. Get the fucking mop. Get the damn broom. At this point, she did exactly what the fuck he said to do. Because now it's fight or flight. She's in survival mode. So now after cleaning that nasty motherfucker as she described it, she said that night he raped her. That night he raped her. Being in survival mode, I understand when she said, before letting that man hold a gun over her fucking head, threaten to kill her over pussy, she said, take it, nigga, fuck. Hell, I'm trying to stay alive. I'm trying to stay alive. And she kept saying she was just supposed to be there for the weekend. But once they got out of the county, he literally put a gun to her head, That's when she knew to get in survival mode. The one thing she did, she discussed the inside of that house to a T. She described everything there was to describe. And we're not going to go all through it. Those of you that need to see can see that too. Jarvis been on some bullshit. Jarvis been on some bullshit. And the shit that Jarvis Butts is on, right? Started long time ago. Long time ago. And as he matured and got older, it got worse. It got worse. So let's talk about the pedal ring. Because God damn it, that's exactly what it is. Let's talk about that. Jarvis wasn't in it alone. Let's go back. Let's go back to all the little girls playing around the body shop. Before Jarvis even ventured off him and King and went to this other shop, they mentioned how the little girls would always be at Frank's auto shop. Frank ain't shit. I don't know Frank. Frank is not shit, but I did look Frank up. And when I looked Frank up, Frank got that look. Frank's nationality says trafficking all over it. Frank is not an African American man. Frank is not a Caucasian man. Every person that worked with Frank at his place of business, they're all certified pedos. Frank seems like he could wear a turban. Frank is one of those people. Frank has so many illegal businesses where he can hide shit easily. Frank is in an oil business where they have big barrels to stock oil and shit. Therefore, once I saw the picture of Frank, when I saw the picture of Frank, that told me everything I needed to know. So when I came to you guys a couple of nights ago in regards to that church, I believe I said what I said, and I'm standing on what the hell I said. That those place of businesses that Frank is operating, they're not intended for that purpose. They're definitely fronts. Who knows if one of the auto body shops It's not being used as a church. Who knows? When she said that the driver drove to his house, as she described the house, straight trafficking. Because how would Jarvis get to be with those type of people? Jarvis is not smart enough to carry on shit like this deep by his damn self. We have to understand that. We have to understand that. Frank has money. Frank has family with money. And in my opinion, Frank is the leader of the pack. Annette was the madam to Frank. Why else would Annette have 3 houses on one street? So with all the investigations going on, Frank needs to be investigated. Definitely. When Jarvis was on that phone with King, and Jarvis told King, or asked King, if he had the key to the lock, King played crazy, asked what key. Jarvis had to repeat it again. When Jarvis mentioned that key to King, King was supposed to go to Jarvis' grandma's house, unlock the gate, and go down in that basement. And whatever girls were being harvested in there, it was time to move them. Because the girl, the young lady that told her story, heard voices downstairs. Here, Lala, thank you, my love. Thank you for that super chat. She says, a pedo is never alone, MOCA. They just know when to show their true colors. And that's a fact. That's a fact. So, when they mentioned that key, Jarvis sent King to open that door. Unlock that door. Unlock the gate, King. Take Frank with you. Frank knows what to do. Frank knew exactly what to do because Frank is the ringleader. And I believe once they put their hands on Frank, Frank looks like he comes from a bloodline that's been doing this shit for quite a long time. Once they put their hands on Frank, then they could grab Frank's daddy and his uncles. Because they are the ones. It ain't African American men that's doing this to our little girls. It's people like Frank. People like Frank that has his people influencing these dumb niggas with a few dollars here and a few dollars there, making them feel important to abuse and hurt our little girls. This shit is bigger than we know. All sorts of people are involved in this shit. I don't know why. I don't know why. Even Annette, you raggedy bitch. Even you, at this point, what is it that make you feel that you can't drop a dime on Frank? When I looked up Frank and saw all what Frank had going on, that took me back to the lady Teresa who told me she had some information she wanted to share. Frank is also a very dangerous man. Frank hires pedos, crackheads, all these people that don't mind being involved in criminal activity. He hires them to do his dirty work. And when he told her story to Toot, and she said the driver looked like a woman from the back, and I guess because of the long ponytail, she said, but it was definitely a man. That could have very well been a brother or some relative of Frank's. Could have very well been. Because when I looked at Frank, again, when I looked at Frank, and you zoom in on his eyes, Frank is every bit. Frank is every bit of being into the game. When that girl said she was in that house and Jarvis told her, this is a door, don't you ever open that door. He didn't want her to see what was downstairs. He didn't want her to see what was downstairs. And what was downstairs was all the little girls that they had been picked up on the streets. Wasn't no adults, wasn't no grown-ass women. It was little missing black and brown girls that they locked in Jarvis's grandmother's house to groom them. So it takes me back to Jarvis's sister. Takes me back to Jarvis's sister. The tears that she shed on that witness stand. The purpose The purpose for those tears was what? After looking at Frank, after listening to her describe everything that she could have described in that grandmother's house, and for as long as that shit had been going on in that grandmother's house, and she told a story and said the grandmother raised her and Jarvis and their other siblings, there is no way Jarvis' sister could make me believe she knew nothing about it. She knows more than she's admitting to. And I wonder if her cries are because Jarvis touched her too. Is it possible that the sister as well is involved with Frank? That story. Let me get to some of y'all comments here. And tonight, y'all, we gonna talk about it. Because a lot of this shit needs to get cleaned up. Enough is enough. Every time you turn around, one of our little girls are missing. Every time. Ram fucking Sunshine said, who the hell would lie about that nasty motherfucker? I commend her for telling. Ram fucking Sunshine, me too. Me too. And it was the people. It was the people that was judging her. That just, and that shit irked my soul. Denise says, I believe the victim. And let's be honest, we all said trafficking from the beginning. This is a serious issue. They very, very much so serious, Denise. Very much so serious. And everything pretty much that she said, I'm like, motherfucker, I said those things. I said those things. So when we got down to talking about that church, when we got down to talking about that church, could that church possibly be one of Frank Auto shops? Could that church possibly be what she thought was a home of the driver? We don't know. But what we do know is all of this shit is going on right under their noses in Detroit. And nobody's paying the fuck attention. Paula says you can't make me believe Jarvis' family didn't know that while the sister was crying, they all heard the rumors. They knew. They knew. They knew. They knew. She knew exactly what her brother was capable of. And then she said, and those that don't know the story, from her interview, they're probably wondering, or y'all probably want to know, okay, what happened, Mocha? What happened? I'm going to tell y'all what happened. Jarvis had gotten to the point to where she was afraid. She was truly afraid because he had her performing for her friends, for his friends. He had her locked up when he wasn't there. She said a couple of times. And then he would take her places walking and would confuse her in directions in hopes that she didn't remember where she went or how she got there. She said she was so fearful one time when Jarvis left. She forgot that her parents gave her a cell phone when she left, but the battery wasn't in it. She had been going through enough shit with Jarvis to where she was ready to get the fuck up out of there. She called her parents while he was away and told them exactly what was going on. They said, we got to get you out of there. So they came up with an excuse about the baby being ill. They blew Jarvis' phone up. When he finally connected with them, they told him the story about the baby. Jarvis took her to the bus stop. And then the nigga had nerve to ask her, do you promise to come back after you see what's wrong with the baby? She had to make him believe that she cared enough about him. And she wasn't afraid of him, so she promised him, yes, I'll come back. She said Jarvis took her ID. Jarvis went to the counter and got her a Greyhound bus ticket. Didn't drive her back to her mama. The bitch dropped her off at a Greyhound bus station. When he got her ticket, not only did he get her ticket, the nigga kept her ID. She didn't give a fuck about her ID. She was just glad to be out of Jarvis's company. She said the minute Jarvis walked off, she said she pissed all over herself. That's how glad and happy she was to get the fuck away from Jarvis. And that's exactly what happened, Ray of Sunshine. He put on a fucking face for her parents, and a face like that, oh my God. Oh my God. Ann says, if Jarvis' sister said she needed to use the bathroom, she says she's seen NaZiyah in and out of cars and trucks. She knew baby girl was around grown men. She knows what Jarvis is. She protected him and that part. She protected him. Definitely protected her brother. Kenyatta says, I'm glad she survived so she can one day tell her truth, although it was heartbreaking. Kenyatta, that was so heartbreaking. That was so heartbreaking. But I'm glad. I am so happy that she's coming to terms and she's becoming a little more comfortable to tell her story. Bridget says, Mocha, you can ask, but you know people be lying. And that's why you have to do a search on them. Exactly, Bridget, exactly, boo. Exactly. Right, Kalila, taking that information was very smart from the family. Very, very smart. Let me see. Paula says he took her to grandma's house, y'all. Y'all remember growing up at grandma's house? Everyone in the family came to grandma's house. The whole family is trash because they all know Paula. They knew. That's the fucked up part. They knew. They knew. So Hey, Nene, welcome, boo. So, in knowing what we know right now, guys, his family knew. Annette knew. Now, upon meeting Annette knew exactly what type of person Jarvis was. Annette met Jarvis through Frank. So what kind of dealings do y'all believe Annette had with Frank to be running the streets with a fucking Frank? Knowing. Because let's not forget, Frank is a peddler too. Certified and on paper. So Annette, what was your interest in being with a Frank? And it's to my belief that prior to Jarvis being in that family, I believe that Annette had them two big sour head girls running around at Frank's shop as well. Annette had those two big ugly ass girls running around the shop as well. How the fuck else would Marquita at 13 years old meet a fucking Jarvis? Annette had Jarvis first. Playing around at the fucking shop. And now you sick bitch, you introduce a pedo to your children. Because Annette is not looking to change who the fuck she is. I have a problem with all of these people and the shit that they got going on. I have a problem with that. Laurie says, you remember Annette and Jarvis locked the door and said they were painting in the room. Shaking my head. Laurie, I remember that. I remember that. And that's the sick part. That's sick. So imagine, guys, imagine how many other people, how many other little children, little girls have come up missing and nothing has been said. And here it is, this lady comes out and tells her story 20 years later. And once she said she really believes, and she know for a fact that it's trafficking and it's a sex ring and shit like that, when she said that, that was enough to lock in my suspicions, which has always been NaZiyah is being moved the fuck around. And she's not alone being moved around. All those other little girls that was down in that basement 20 years ago, they done moved around. Only God knows how many more of them are out there. They're being moved around. They're being moved around. Right, Jordan? Jarvis' sister knows exactly who he is. Kenya Doll says she was getting money out of those girls, and she was, Kenya, she was. Gemini says, because please, he fixes her car. If she had so much disgust for her brother, she would not get her car fixed by him. She looks the other way. Gemini, that part, Gemini. If you can't stand your brother, why the fuck would you take your car for him to so say look at? Girl, go sit your ass down. Tyler asks if anyone knows the original owner of the shop. I have no clue, Tyler. I have no clue. Ann says Annette slept all night. Wake up, call the school, not the police first. Same with Dorothy. She said same damn thing. She called the school, but again, why not the police first? Cover up on both ends. And there's a reason behind them not calling the police. And I'm going to tell you why. Neither one of them hoes call the police, and neither one of those raggedy bitches call the police, because if I call the police, the wrong one may take the call. And when MOCA says the wrong one, MOCA means a caring one, a compassionate one, an honest one. So they wasn't going to take the chance calling the police. Because if an honest one, a caring one, would have answered the phone and took the case, then that means other police officers would have had to be investigated. That whole judicial system would have had to be investigated. Because law enforcement is definitely involved. Definitely involved. Why do you guys think nothing is being done? Why do you guys think shit is going unnoticed? Why do you guys think they're taking so long to get into certain cases? They're all involved. And it's bigger than just them. Sabrina says Annette had kids in her household that she could give them and just say they ran away. And she did it, Sabrina, more than one time. Talk your shit, Kenya Doll. Kenya Doll says when you're from the streets, this crime is easy to solve. And it is. And it is. Hey, Regina. Red says, yo, so what? What they do to start grooming is having them clean? The lady from last night had to clean his house, and NaZiyah had to clean the shop. Straight mind control, Red. He wanted to feel important because that was all he had. He couldn't control him in no other way. Jarvis' only job was to get him there. Once he got him there, Frank and his henchmen did the fucking rest. Jarvis was just to take him out there. Nene says they all knew. They all knew there was the victims and the perpetrators. The victim trauma bonded and had close connections to the family. Some enjoyed, all kept them, all of them neat. They all kept their mouth closed. And for those of you that heard the story last night, for those of you that heard the story, last night. She said she contacted the police. The police told her, I'm going to get back to you. Something as serious as this. How the fuck will you tell me you're going to get back to me? You didn't ask me to come and fill in a report. You didn't ask me to do nothing. No details or nothing. You just pushed me to the side and said you'll get back to me. But her report was going to throw a spark in the investigation. Then all the people that they didn't think could ever be involved in shit such as this, they would have to come to the front of the class. Belinda asks, MOCA, was it a folder in court labeled feds? Belinda, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure that this case will has already attract the attention of the feds. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. They need to go there and put all the attention in the world on Frank. I'm pretty sure Frank got some of those little girls in another fucking country. I'm pretty sure of that. DA says King and Jarvis didn't have $16 damn together to buy and run nobody's business. They was fronted two criminal jailbirds, exactly. And they was fronted by none other than Frank. Because King and Jarvis ran Frank's operations. Everybody getting charged. Everybody getting picked the fuck up. Everybody is being associated with this bullshit but Frank. And that's where it initiated at. Hey, bye. I says, as a hood dude, I can imagine me living in a twins neighborhood. I bet they are the thoughts of the neighborhood. Jarvis was just a nasty dude to put kids in Shannon once he got hold of her. Exactly. Exactly. Karen asked, did Jarvis' sister do an interview? If so, where I can find it. Karen, that was in the preliminary hearings. She never did another outside interview. It was the preliminary hearings. Patricia says, just think, an operation like this is all across the country. Patricia is sickening. It's sickening. Nene says, 20 years of silence is a lot. Makes me wonder why now, not judging, just wondering. This is a big story and everybody trying to insert and get paid. I'm just saying, it's bad, Nee. It's bad. It's bad. Ann says the schools. NaZiyah, they marked the president in school when she wasn't. And they marked Kimani absent when teachers, classmates said she was in school. Something wrong with the lies. And in my opinion, those lies are being given just like NaZiyah being marked present, you know, when she wasn't there. That's the work. That's the work of those that's a part of a traffic and a peddle ring. They got somebody somewhere, where's a school, where's the doctor's office, where there's a park. I don't give a damn where it is. These type of people always got somebody somewhere to cover up the shit that they done. This shit is sickening. Kenyatta says Annette knows who has her. She was talking to them at the press conference. Kenyatta! Kenyatta! She knows. She knows. When Annette went to get a new van the next day or the day after, and Kenya took her, what do y'all think that conversation looked like between Annette and Frank? Because in my opinion, Frank told that bitch to move on and don't ever come around him again. The block was hot. He didn't want to have no parts of Annette. And he was hoping nobody traced his involvement back to Annette. So right now, I'm needing Frank. I'm needing Frank. Black and Bougie says they used Precious NaZiyah for profit, and they did. And they did. And the fuck they did. This is crazy. Kenya Doll says more and more facts are coming out, proving you're right. I pray NaZiyah is found and finds a whole new family to start over with. Please, God, help her. Here, let me highlight that. Kenya Doll. When I heard the interview, I listened to it in its entirety. All of these things that's coming to surface, MOCA spoke on it. She spoke on it. Mika says, Belinda knowing me, I would have talked back to their ass just to be nosy. I wonder why the girls with the phone didn't call the police. Okay, y'all talking about something else. Right, Regina? Regina says they didn't call the police because they had to clean the house out for any evidence as well. And that's why they didn't call. It's exactly why they didn't call. But if the prosecution and the state of Detroit want justice as they claim, they need to dig deeper than they're digging and stop just touching the surface. Unless certain members within that justice department, within that police department, within whatever goddamn department there is, unless these motherfuckers are on payroll from Frank and his people. Is that why they're turning a blind eye to the situations that are taken over with these little girls? I do believe Frank and his people, because Frank comes from a very wealthy lineage. I believe they're paying these people off. I said I was going to have an open mic tonight. Anybody could have came in and spoke how they felt, and chopped it up. Y'all, this is some bullshit. Straight bullshit. And I'm a just that, and that's what I'm gonna say. It's bullshit. Denise said the other girl from Gary, Indiana, was allegedly pregnant too. Wow, wow. But girl, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with these people out here. Janet says, when the sister was on the stand, the judge went into the room. The sister looked at the family and said, I'm sorry. Exactly. Why would she say it? Why would she say it? Hey, sis.
Hey, MOCA sister, how are you?
I'm good, Sister Sean B. How are you, my love?
I'm fine. Somebody wants to say hi to you.
Hi, Auntie Mocha. I can finally say hi to you.
Oh my God. Hi, baby. How are you?
Good. Can you? Mom, tell me the curse.
she said, Mom, tell her to curse.
Tell it it's coming. Tell it it's coming.
She said it's coming.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So I hopped up here right quick because I don't know if you were in our other sister's chat yesterday, but I kind of roasted them idiots that was on Toot's channel yesterday as well.
Right. That's crazy.
For the ignorance, that, like I said on her channel, that's the reason why a lot of victims don't speak out, is because of that kind of in our face, I think you lying type of shit.
Exactly. That's crazy.
Like, this young lady did not have to come forward and say a damn thing. It's been over 20 years.
That's exactly right. And she's still holding on to that.
Exactly. She's dealing with survivor's remorse.
That's right.
She's carrying a guilt that she feels like if she had said something, our baby would still be here. You know what I mean? And it may have potentially saved a whole lot of other victims that this monster touched.
Right,
And
right.
you got a chat full of assholes talking about, I'm side-eyeing her. She's suspect. I don't believe her. What she's saying don't make sense. Just being total idiots.
Right, right. And that was disrespectful. So disrespectful.
Hold on one second, MOCA. Can y'all go that way, please? Yes. My son and my daughter. I mean, my husband and my daughter.
Tell him I heard him.
Yeah, but it's ridiculous. It's like sometimes people just put words in the chat just so they can see their names go across the marquee. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But they did. They disrespected her so bad, and she saw it towards the end. And she said, I don't have a reason to lie. Like, I don't have a reason to make this up.
Right.
And I think they made her feel really bad, and they owe her an apology.
I believe so. I believe that as well. When I listened this morning, I'm like, oh my God, how could you?
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But I believe her, for the record, in case she's in the bushes listening. I believe her. Toot so much as verified all of the landmarks from her memory.
Right, right.
To Google Earth everything, or Earth Google, or whatever it's called, and pulled up everything that the young lady was saying. And some stuff is even crazy because that one house that was down the street from the red and pink building, I try to pull it up and I can't find it. But other people said that they found it and got the history on it. I think it really is something suspect with these houses.
The houses, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's part of the larger.
And that's what I'm saying. And I'm sitting up here, and I know when a cult is doing what they do, it's like a compound. All these different buildings on the same property. So could it be these houses that we're hearing about all of a sudden? Something is
Well,
wrong.
that's what I said yesterday. I said I believe. Now I heard your theory as well, and I appreciate it. I really do. It's a different way of thinking about it, right? I believe that that house that Jarvis took that young lady to is the house that everybody has been saying Annette owns a house. Annette owns a house, but everybody assumed that it was the house that they were living in when this happened with NaZiyah.
Oh no, that's not the house.
Okay. So are you saying that the house that Jarvis took the young lady to is not the house that Annette owns?
No, the house that Jarvis took that young lady to, that green and white house,
Right.
that's Jarvis's grandmother's house.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Jarvis's grandmother's house.
Okay. But I believe when he said if you need something, ask Granny. I think he was talking about Annette.
He was talking about Annette.
Okay. Yeah. 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 I do. I really do.
He was talking
Uh-huh.
about Annette. So who knows if Annette wasn't the granny, the madam that will go to that house to assist these girls in doing what they do. It's
Right.
all a business. It's a business. It was all a damn conspiracy.
Right.
And Annette was getting her share of her pay from Frank. Frank was
Absolutely.
instructing them all what to do. And I believe that wholeheartedly.
Okay. Okay. I do too. I do too. Do you think they're gonna call Frank to the stand?
I pray to God they do.
I know that's right.
I pray to God they do, because Frank is the big fish.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure there's a bigger fish, maybe Frank's daddy or his grandpa.
Ooh, for the money.
When
The
you look
money.
at Frank, you'll understand exactly what I mean.
Is he Middle Eastern?
Yes.
Oh, long
Yes.
paper, long paper.
Yes. That motherfucker, he is the one. And
Wow.
they're suspecting everybody else and overlooking the fucking Frank. So I'm wondering what Frank ties is to the community.
Wow.
Because clearly he seems to be untouchable.
Absolutely. I
And
know
this shit
here
is
in my
going on right under their noses, right under their
absolutely.
noses. And yet he still can't be touched.
I know here in my city, the Middle Easterns, they get away with everything. They let them buy a property like government cheese.
I could believe that.
When a crime is committed against any one of them, it's solved within 2 or 3 days.
Right, right. Hey,
But
sis.
while ours
Hey,
ours
y'all.
go 2 3 years without being solved.
Correct, correct.
Exactly.
Hey, Black
Y'all,
and Bougie.
we have black and bougie on the stage, y'all.
Hey, y'all. I'm not
Hey,
really good
Mama.
at telling stories, and I'm gonna try to make this quick because I don't want to take over the chat. But I'm kind of nervous telling this because you know how when you're a child, you really don't understand things, and then shit comes full circle, and then you realize like, what the fuck? Like, so when I was younger, my mom would go hang out at my aunt's house. My father was really religious, and he didn't allow my mom to drink and smoke. So my mom was in RN school. She was in nursing school. So for her to hang out and decompress and do the things that she wants to do, we would go over to my aunt's house and I would play with my cousins and things like that. Where there was a young girl that lived next door to them. I'll just call the mom Diane. I'll call the young girl Dina, and I'll call the uncle Roy, I guess. So the
Hmm.
young girl, I remember this was in the early 80s, early to mid 80s, and I remember me being in between the ages of like 6 and 10. The young girl would always be pregnant. I remember when I was 6, she was like 11 and she was pregnant. I remember when I was like 9 and she was pregnant again. And she just,
Wow.
and two of her children were like, you know how somebody might have like cerebral palsy but they're not like confined to a wheelchair. It's just like, one part of their body, like they have a limp or whatever.
Right.
So like me being the kind of kid that I am, I will always go over there. Hey, you guys want some of my candy? You guys want, I got some chips or whatever. And my mom and my aunt would let me, play with them or let me offer them stuff. But they would always be like, okay, that's enough. Get your ass over here. Get your ass over. And I'm like, well, why can't I play with them or whatever? Well, like the older that I got, she ended up having two more children and they were confined to wheelchairs. Keep in mind, I know that I'm a child. Like, even though I'm a child and she's older than me, I still know that she's a child too. So why does she keep, being pregnant?
Being pregnant, right?
Yeah, and there's something wrong with all of her children. And keep in mind, in those days, there was no. You could use the R word. I could easily ask my mom, why are her children? Why are all her kids? The R word or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember one day the Uncle Roy, which is Diane's brother, which is the little girl's mother, the brother said, because people call me Pumpkin, and so he was like, Pumpkin, ask your aunt, do she got a cigarette? Keep in mind, I didn't trust this man. My mother always taught me about, like strangers and not letting people, touch you in the wrong. So, I wasn't afraid of him. Don't get me wrong, I didn't trust him. But I just, he was an adult and he told me to ask my aunt, did she have a cigarette? So I said, hey, Nita, Mr. Royce said, do you have a cigarette? And she said, Mr. Who? I said, Mr. Roy next door. Like the way that my aunt jumped up off that couch, you would have thought that I told her that, a dragon was outside. Like it was insane. Like she was like, motherfucker, and I can't say everything that she said or whatever. But right. She was like, what y'all doing y'all house is y'all MFing business, but don't you ever talk to my niece. Don't you ever say nothing to a child that be over my family is off limits, MF.
Wow.
So, I'm like, okay, sorry. I'm like, I'm sorry. She was like, it don't matter. Sit your ass down and stay the fuck away. Quit playing with them damn kids and this, that, and the third. So my mom had went to the car to get a lighter. And by the time she came back, my aunt and the lady were still arguing. And my mom was like, is there a problem? Like, do you have a problem with my sister? And the lady was like, I don't got a problem with your sister. I'm just sick of her turning her nose up at everybody. She act like everybody perfect. Won't she get the fuck out of our business? This and the third. And my aunt was like, perfect? She was like, perfect. She's like, if perfect mean that my husband ain't so-and-so and so-and-so to my daughter, my brother ain't MFing or wording my girls, then I'll be perfect.
Wow.
And so she was like, you roach infested R-wording MFs? She said, you inbreeding MFs?
Ooh. Wow.
So, as a child, keep in mind, I'm 6. I'm 44 now. So I'm sitting there. So, my mom and my aunt are sitting. My aunt is arguing with this lady. My mama like, well, long as you don't touch my sister, it won't be no smoke. Like, so, my mama, she fires up a joint. And I said, Mama, what's inbreeding? She said, go play, baby.
I know that's right.
I said, Mama, can you please just tell me? I said, I won't tell anybody. She said, look, what I tell you about asking me what stuff mean. Me and your daddy bought you and your brothers and sisters a whole collection of encyclopedias. Look it up when we get home and come tell me what it means. She said, since you want to know so much and be in grown folks' business. So I went off and I went to play with my friends. I couldn't wait to get home because I wanted to know what it meant so bad. When I looked it up, it just gave me all the answers about this young girl. Her children were that way because her uncle was her father.
Oh, my God.
And her children, because, the uncle was Diana's brother. And I just remember her saying, like, ain't nobody perfect. He's family. Get out our business. Like, what do you mean?
Another Uncle Daddy.
Oh, my gosh.
Another Jarvis. Just just sticking and moving through the whole, and he gets to stay around because he's somebody's family.
Right. You know, and we have to get out of that. You know, whatever happens in his house stays in his house. That's why so many children are so fucked up today.
I just couldn't. I've never. I mean, of course, since then, you don't realize it's so prevalent. I mean, come on. I was in between the ages of 6 and 10. I'm like, what the hell is going on? What are these people arguing about? I'm just making sure don't nobody put their hands on my damn mama.
That's right.
Little do I know. And it was funny because and we have really embodied that whole mind your business, that ain't our business. Because when I got home, I did look it up. And my mama was like, I want you to write 2 paragraphs about it. Because my mother was really, my mother was more lenient than my dad. My dad was like, you don't get in grown people's business, period. My mama was like, okay, you want to be in grown folks' business? Here you go. So she was like, go ahead and write 2 paragraphs about it. So, I'm like, well, they said it's illegal in most states. So can't Mr. Roy go to jail? And my mother, being the old school woman, like a lot of people are, she was like, baby, that ain't our business.
Wow.
I said, well, if I was a grown up, I'd call the police. She was like, you're a brave girl. I mean, of course you would. She said, but baby, we not doing that. God gonna get him. And I'm thinking, like, what? He needs to be in jail. Wow. But, that's our way of thinking. That's that old school way of thinking. So.
Girl. Wow.
I've never seen anything. I've never actually since then seen a 10-year-old that was even pregnant, except for like Law and Order SVU, like stuff like that. But right. I didn't even know that 10-year-olds could be pregnant.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But, the way the world is today, these little girls are maturing at a faster rate than we did back then.
Yes.
You find little girls now having cycles at 8.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, it really hurts me that it's weird like how Annette can be so like, Annette, you hate yourself that much to where you would share, because if Jarvis was yours first, then that means you quote unquote shared him with
our daughters.
Yeah, with our daughter, but you shared him and allowed him to pray. So you allowed a predator to you shared your predator boyfriend with your girls. You let him prey on them, and then when NaZiyah came along, she was right for the taking too. So Annette, you can't never pull a man that doesn't want a child.
Annette was okay with that because of her history.
Mm-hmm.
Annette had became comfortable. That type of shit for Annette is a goddamn norm.
And that's why your daughter left.
Huh.
Yeah.
Which is disgusting because she's not blameless either. Like, don't get it twisted. You don't get to say, oh, my mama did this and my mama did that, but I'm going to leave my daughter here because I can't deal with it. Look.
Correct. She gets no fucking passes with me.
Yeah, absolutely not. None. I don't fucking feel sorry for her at all. This is what happens when we don't protect our children. Like that bitch that left those babies in that filthy ass house in Indiana, and the father was disabled. I don't give a fuck.
Exactly. That's crazy.
Exactly. I don't give the mother in Toledo, Ohio, a pass either. How the hell you gonna leave your baby at 9 months with all these different people, but then she ends up with the same woman who was dogging you, and now she's gone.
Her story and Annette's story is the same fucking story.
And you know what else? I mean? What else is the same? Anaya Sawyer. I don't know what it is, but I seen this comment, and I did
commentary on her. Same story.
Oh, perfect. I'm gonna look it up because I didn't see that. I've been working a lot lately, so I didn't get to see it. But I'll be replaying your last MOCA because you're incredible. But Anaya Sawyer, it's like the same shit.
Same
light skinned, high yellow dude.
I was getting ready to say, if you look at Anaya Sawyer, if you look at him and you look at Jarvis, they look the fuck alike.
Damn near identical. What is it with high yellow niggas with quote unquote, that bullshit good hair that black people who are indoctrinated like to say somebody has, which is not. Good hair, and then preying on dark skin. Like, what the fuck even is that?
Exactly. Right. And the fucked up part is NaZiyah's story is, I mean, they all intertwine in a way, but then NaZiyah has become the catalyst to expose all this shit. And I hope what is going on with NaZiyah, it is my prayer that they take the kingfish down. And they're looking in all the wrong places, in my opinion. And where they should be looking is at Frank and his family. Because that's the fuck where it started.
Yes. I truly believe that. Because if y'all, where'd you say he's from?
Oh, Frank, I don't exactly know where he's from, but he is he's Middle not Eastern. Yeah, he's Middle Eastern. I know that.
They are notorious traffickers. Do you hear me?
Absolutely.
Them people, that's damn near, that's part of their fucking culture.
Right.
They don't believe in like legal age and shit like that. Like they don't care. They'll wife a 3-year-old. Fuck it.
Exactly. They don't give a fuck.
They don't
care about what makes anybody think? What makes them think, that it's okay because Frank is who he is, but it's okay for you dumb niggas to sit there and allow Frank to take, give you a few dollars here and there for y'all to exploit our little girls. This shit is ridiculous. And just like all these blood. This is what I feel. I personally feel all these little girls from Detroit, Michigan, all the way to Ohio, I believe Frank has a hand in all of that shit.
Yeah, he's probably the head of a trafficking ring.
He is. I believe he is.
I wouldn't doubt it for 1 second. The way that he was hugging and loving on that baby, like that would almost be unacceptable, even if he was her father. But the fact that he wasn't makes it even like why are you so it was like they were in a club, and how like you're in a club and you're dancing with a guy and he like, come here baby, like it was
this
so
shit is crazy. It's crazy. And
why are you so smitten with a child?
And I will continue to say this shit. I think I done uncovered part of that rabbit hole. This shit is intertwined with the cult, and the church is backing them. I believe that they're using the church and that auto shop as a cover up.
Yeah, it's a ploy
that they're doing.
It's a ploy. Have you all ever seen I Spit on Your Grave?
No, I haven't seen that.
Well, I'm sure most of us have seen Taken. So it was a girl on I Spit on Your Grave. She did a modeling gig like somewhere in her local town. Next thing you know, they drug her up. She was all the way in fucking Europe, over in Bulgaria.
See what I'm saying?
And when I tell you she tried to escape, and the very person that helped her escape was the head of the ring, and she ended up right back there. Like, this shit is so intertwined. The thing is, the reason that this type of shit never is eradicated is because your senators and your politicians are in it.
And that's the situation right now. And I believe Frank and his wealthy family have the politicians in Detroit all on payroll. Because how do so many children come up missing from right under your fucking nose, and you're not interested in looking? You'll just say, well, I'll build a case. And how many more fucking cases do you have to build with no goddamn body?
Thank you. And notice these children are never found. You never, ever see them again. Think about it. If you were selling dope, trafficking cocaine out your house, they might let you build a case up on you for maybe 2-3 years. But eventually, you are going to jail.
Exactly.
But
And look at
notice,
this.
nothing ever happens to these people.
King and Jarvis went on. King and Jarvis went on and opened up their own shop with the finances coming from Frank. All right. So the hotel across the street was a gateway to get those girls out of there. And look at the hotel. It's owned by Middle Easterners.
Come on. It's no
It's
way
the
there's no
fucking
connection.
ring.
Period.
I was convinced when I saw that investigators sit on the stand and lie and say that they found. But then the video came out of that young man leading the search party to those sneakers. And when the investigator said we left it there, who does that?
Exactly.
Who does that? What happened to photographing, tagging, and bagging? You don't leave it there. You don't leave it there and then come to court and say, yeah, those are hers. I'm sorry, what? That makes
Exactly.
absolutely no sense. You don't get to tell us that they belong to the person that's missing, but you left it there and then went back and got it. That's not what they do. Not when they're, doing a real investigation with integrity. They don't do that like that.
Right.
It could be a empty Sprite bottle. They putting that in a bag.
Right. Come on forensic files, they've caught people from finding a cigarette on the ground. Are y'all kidding me?
Yes. It was a young
Absolutely
woman.
not.
It was a young woman in Atlanta. Her story has been all over. Beautiful, beautiful young woman. Nice, pretty pixie haircut. Y'all may know who I'm talking about. And she was unalived. And it took about a year, but they solved her case with a Sprite bottle that was on the other side of the fence from
Come
where
on.
she was found. Yep.
Yeah.
This shit is horrible.
I'm sorry. When you think about snuff films, think about, first of all, snuff films shouldn't even exist. People go to jail for welfare fraud, defrauding the system, getting food stamps when they're not supposed to, having a man living with them when they got Section 8, low income housing, all of this shit. People get in trouble for this type of shit. But when there's a literal trafficking ring of people exploiting children and literally selling them like cattle. Oh, well, it's hard to break into it. Why is the black web so hard to dismantle? Because y'all are a part of it.
And we as African Americans, I'm gonna say it that way. The one thing that we need to recognize is this. African American men nor women are, I'm not going to say they're not smart enough. What I will say is their money ain't long enough, they're not conniving enough, and they're not that deceitful no matter what walk of life they come from. It's not in them to traffic children. That's the perversion from the other race. Black people don't do that shit. But King and Jarvis, they sit there and they allow Frank to bullshit them, to destroy their own. And now Jarvis is sitting his ass in jail with them 7 fucking teeth. And Frank's still going by life doing what the fuck he do.
Absolutely. And Frank gonna make sure the judge make sure that Jarvis be the only one that go down.
Exactly.
Frank
is gonna make sure that Jarvis don't talk. If Jarvis is not in protective custody, If Jarvis is not being watched 24/7, Jarvis will not survive in population. I can guarantee that. Frank is going to take him out
I
because
ain't mad.
Frank don't want to take the chance on Jarvis implicating him on shit.
Right.
And I believe that's why Annette moved too. Annette left her home and went with her brother. I believe that Annette is afraid. She's very much afraid of Frank right now because they don't know what's coming to the table.
Absolutely. Makes sense. It makes sense. It's so unfortunate. But I said NaZiyah was going to be a legend. She is a legend
Most definitely.
because she woke it up. She did. She woke it up. You know, a lot of us would say, damn, Detroit again. Oh, Lord, it done happened in Chicago again. Dallas is tripping. You know what I mean? We would say it. But this last year, Detroit,
Oh yeah,
Cleveland,
it's Detroit, and it is so
Detroit.
sickening. It
Yes.
is so sickening. Every time
Mhm.
you log on, it's Detroit. What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So when every time you log on and you say or you see it's Detroit, you have to know at this point the politicians are all wrapped up in this shit. Because my thing is this: if I was a politician and if I didn't have a hand in all of this backdoor dirty shit, I will be going to legislators. I will be fighting tooth and nail to clean my shit up. But ain't none of them doing it.
Absolutely. Because it's a collective effort. All of those politicians, many of them, hundreds of them, are complicit in it. It's their fetish.
Exactly.
It's definitely. I believe that young lady Allie, who escaped, and now she's traveling the world. You know, she's traveling the country, telling her story, and she's like, she won't. She says she's too scared to settle roots somewhere because she's scared that she feels like somebody's always watching her, and the woman who was financially supporting her has become like her adopted mom, and so they travel together. And I believe what she says when
I
she
believe
talks about
Ali as well.
the underground, you know, trafficking type of situation. I believe what she said. I really do. I fear for her life as well.
This shit is crazy. And I'm going to come out here every day until something surfaces. Because these people need to be exposed. And I guess Frank never thought his name would be in the crossfire. But bitch, whoever is involved, every fucking body coming to the front of the damn class.
Raquel, can I ask you a question? Raquel, really? A reality? What can you explain what you heard about Allie? Because I didn't see it. They're in a relationship. Her family came out and told. Who's in a relationship?
She's
Oh,
talking about
Allie and the
Allie.
lady?
Hey, Nick.
Allie and the lady is in a relationship?
That's what she's saying. She
Oh
said
my
Allie family
God.
came out and told the story.
See. Yo, that's messed up.
See, it's always something. It's always fucking something.
I'm
But
gonna look that up for.
this bullshit with
Yeah.
NaZiyah.
I'm gonna look it
I
up for you, MOCA. I'm gonna look it up.
all right, baby.
Yeah,
But
I'm gonna look
with
it up.
the shit with NaZiyah, my God. And like I said, looking at Frank looked like he done sent many children out of this country to never be found again. And that's what I get from Frank. And the longer DPD fuck around, don't do nothing, don't say nothing, the farther they get the hell away. And right now, Frank knows it's hot. So Frank is moving in silence. And I do believe that NaZiyah is still here. I believe that. I believe she's so far away, though. I believe that baby is somewhere where we don't know.
Absolutely.
Regina said that's why when she said she was in the basement and she drove to that house and it was nice, it associated with Frank and Grape Ape Annette. Exactly, Regina. That was Frank's house. You know, Jarvis, you don't live like that.
Right.
And anybody that lives like that and got security gates and shit like that in a bitch, you into some shit. You into some shit that needs to be uncovered.
Sassy says she gonna email Trump and tell him about Frank.
Oh yeah, this shit is crazy. I don't understand. I don't understand the politicians. I don't even have to go to the politicians. I don't fucking understand Annette and her role as a damn grandmother. Because how do you fail your children? Bitch, you failed them all.
All of them.
And then you turn around and you fail your grandchildren. All because your nasty ass wanted to be a part of something that was bigger than you, bitch. And all Frank is gonna do, if the heat gets on Frank, all Frank is gonna do is go to his country for a little while and rest. And he'll be right back here with the bullshit again. Because that's who the fuck he is. So now Frank is a hot topic. Frank leaves the country and he takes the children with him. This is ridiculous, and these places, Detroit needs to do fucking better. How do all of these little brown children get enrolled in school this fucking year? And next year, the number done dropped by half. Because they too done got in a goddamn van with the curtains and ended up someplace they don't fucking know. This shit is unreal to me. And there's not that much nastiness in the fucking world. For Annette to sacrifice her blood for a fucking Middle Easterner. Bitch, the money from Frank couldn't have been that good. And that's how the hell Annette has been surviving. Annette has been surviving from those checks for taking care of her grandchildren. And when she couldn't make ends meet from that, Frank gave her the rest. This shit is beyond me. Levesque said that was the uncle, Eric Gamble, Annette's brother that was hugging on NaZiyah. Exactly. That's exactly who it was. DA said, MOCA, I said earlier, Frank has connection. Senators. I believe it. I fucking believe it. Diane says, hey, Mocha and chat. I can't seem to join lives on time this week. So glad you're back. You sound rested and ready as always. Salute to the fabulous Maz. Thank you, my love. Renee said, wickedness in high places. We cannot trust the authorities. We have to pray that God help us save these children. Renee, exactly. Exactly. Because those that are supposed to be serving and protecting, those are the ones that's doing the fucking most. And says the difference now is our babies being disrespected, defiled by the family, close member, neighbor, then a stranger. Girl, girl. This is crazy as shit to me. Karen says Frank is the one on payroll, not the big fish. They pay the peddle to keep it away from them. I could believe that. I could truly believe that. Right. Regina said it appeared all of a sudden when Pitbull Face started searching for NaZiyah. Exactly. All of a sudden when she started searching, now there's clues. I've been asking that question. I've been asking that question, because he has the same last name as Annette. It wasn't he the Harris? Wasn't he a Harris? So what's the connection? Levesque, I'm with you. Levesque said there's no way Jarvis could do all of this shit and nobody knew nothing. Nene said, Nene said to send a man to the moon. Shit. They made ET phone home, but they can't find a baby girl. They're letting people like Mucinex twins and Annette plus Jarvis outsmart DPD. Get the fuck out of here, right, Nee? Right. This shit is all about trafficking. And they know, that family knows that NaZiyah has been trafficked. It's not like they don't know. They definitely know. Red said him or his family. That's why the sister is scared. Told y'all it was something. I told y'all it was fucking something. Patricia said, sound like Detroit is a hub for trafficking too. Definitely, Patricia. Definitely. Belinda said, all this shit going on and only one person in jail. Belinda, that's the fucked up part. That's the fucked up part. Only one person in jail. And my biggest question is, are we fucking protecting these predators because they look normal? Or bitch, are you protecting him because he paid the bills? What's the fucking problem? Then y'all got nerves to label these little girls. Every little girl that came up missing, you dumb motherfuckers, call her fast. How the fuck you label a child and call her fast? Where the fuck she get it from? She wouldn't know fast, bitch, if y'all didn't teach her fast. But how many people in the neighborhood in Detroit knew about Jarvis and said not a goddamn thing? Because Jarvis was not new to this. Jarvis was not new on the set. Jarvis been out there. Everybody knew Jarvis had a fucking record. So why the hell nobody said nothing? So this is where I am right now. Annette, Shannon, Marquita, you big bitches enabled Jarvis to do all the shit he did to NaZiyah. And because you hoes enabled it, you bitches should be the same hoes that get arrested for it. Mika said, I believe her. I think he has been doing this shit. They need to lock him up and throw away the key. She said someone else is coming out as well. Yeah, she said Tooth is having another live tonight. I'm about to log off because she's having another live, she said, on Twitch. You know, so my thing, this shit is mind-boggling. Mind-boggling at the very least. Because right now the position Jarvis is in, bitch, you is either sink or swim. Are you gonna tell it or are you not gonna fucking tell it? And the church, I'm still being pulled back to it being a church. And Frank, you are a prime candidate for MOCA to believe even further that this baby is hiding at a fucking church. This is crazy. Desperate Sacrifice. How do I find Tootie on Twitch, MOCA? Desperate Sacrifices. Go to one of Tootie's videos, maybe the last one she did today, and go into her bio where she leaves a description. And in that description, she should have a link to her Twitch. Guys, it's time that although we share the stories, although we talk about shit, guys, it's time we have a come to Jesus meeting. Every fucking body. Everybody have a come to Jesus. Everybody stand on one accord. The bigger the choir, the louder the fucking song. And if we're going to do it, let's do it for NaZiyah in the right way. I'm not here to fight with nobody. No content creator am I here to fight with. But together, I feel we could make a difference. Definitely make a difference. That young lady said so much when she told her story. And I'm sure there's so much more that she wanted to say. But why? Why continue talking when you're looking at, as your story come out, you're reading the chat and you're being ridiculed? We got to do better. We got to do fucking better. I appreciate Miss Parker. That's my sister. I appreciate too. I'm riding with her until the wheels fall off. And I appreciate my brother Shank. When you come out here and tell your story. For me, it ain't about clicks and views. It's about being a voice for those that have none. And I ask the question day in and day out, how long do we go through this? When will enough be enough? Because as y'all stated earlier, I'm tired. I'm turning on the fucking news and Detroit is all I see. They go dig up one body looking for somebody. They stumble upon 2 or 3 in the same area. So motherfuckers that lead me to believe you bitches have not been doing your work. Detroit, you gotta do fucking better. You gotta do fucking better. These girls didn't get a chance. Not a fucking chance. But yet the politicians are okay with that. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Something is definitely wrong. Jordan, thank you so much for my super sticker, my love. Regina asks a question. Regina wants to know, was it that church in the area those houses were in? Regina, when Toot took us through the map. Regina, my blood got to balling all over again. Because sure enough, Regina, there was a church. There was a church with gates all around it. So it led me back to the accusations. It led me back to what I know. Pulpit pimping and cult within a church. This is insane. And I often wonder, especially after hearing that young lady tell her story, the poor children that Detroit didn't care about. The poor children who parents gave up on them and stopped looking. All of those poor children could have been in that same basement that Jarvis dared her to look in. Now we have to ask the hard question. Where are those children? Where are those children? This is, I just can't. I can't. Ann says, Too young and innocent to text those raunchy, nasty messages to Jarvis. A child don't know about sex like that. Shannon was pretending to be her, sending raunchy messages. Baby girl was too young. And I'm going to stand on what I've always said in regards to those text messages. I don't give a damn who likes it, who don't like it. But Ann, I'm with you. There's no fucking way NaZiyah sent those text messages to Jarvis. No fucking way. I don't give a goddamn how many times Jarvis and NaZiyah fucked. I don't give a fuck about all of that. But why was Shannon, as a big old overgrown dusty looking motherfucker, why would she send him text messages and frame her fucking niece? Now, for doing shit like that, you gotta be the grimiest, slimiest motherfucker that ever walked the face of this earth. You bad built, flat head bitch. That baby did not. That baby did not write those text messages. No fucking way. Shannon is an evil bitch. Shannon is a no good, dirty bitch. Shannon, you big, bad built bitch, when you were so jealous of a child. Jarvis refused to give you another fucking baby, bitch. He refused. And because he refused to give you another fucking baby, you decided to beat the fuck out of NaZiyah, lay her down there, you and your other big swollen head sister, and you stole a baby, bitch. You stole a fucking baby, bitch. Now go get DNA, bitch, and put it on the internet and let the YouTube world know that that's not your fucking baby. Because I'm always always will I believe, that NaZiyah's baby is alive and well, bitch, because you got it. Get the fuck on. Thank you, Regina. Regina said, yes, y'all do y'all research. MOCA, Miss Parker, Toot, and Shank work. Thank you, baby. Thank you. I ain't coming out here half-stepping with y'all. I can't. That'll be fucked up on my part. Right, Meek? Meek said, especially the text. The one where she tells them to go give her some. Definitely Shannon. Big waterhead bitch. It was her. It was her. Right, Regina? She said that they were kidnapping kids. She heard some shit downstairs. And what she heard, she couldn't put her finger on it. Couldn't put her finger on it, but she knew that was some abnormal shit. She knew it was some abnormal shit. After the live is over, because we're not going to be in here much longer because Shank is going live in a few minutes. After this live is over, I'm going to put Frank's picture on my community wall. Frank ain't shit. And like I said, Frank is one of them a Middle Easterner or whatever the fuck he is. Frank is moving children. Definitely moving children. Right, Bridget? All in that text talking about threesomes and shit. No, ma'am. Shannon can't make me believe different. Can't make me believe different. And no matter how anyone feels, no matter how anyone feels, in a sick, perverted way, and I know that's highly unlikely for most of us to understand and believe, but in a sick and perverted type of way, Jarvis loved that little girl. He did. And he loved her to the point to where he did not want to see her unalive. He didn't want to see her unalive. So he figured by calling his people to come and get her, even though it wasn't right, but he kept her alive. And I want to believe that. I want to believe that. Christian says, why did Kim stop the search so easy and fast? Other girls in the same area missing. Tell us why. That's a good question. Why? Why? Who paid you, Kim Worthy? Because all you bitches are working under the goddamn table. Who paid you to just say, let's stop the search? It's not like I don't have a clear understanding as to how the judicial system works with certain things. But this shit here has suspect written all the fuck over it. All over it. But yet you're assuming that most of us don't see this shit. Shit is fucking pathetic. Hi, Elton. Welcome to the chat. Elton says, Mocha, did I miss something? Is Frank custody? Are they investigating him? Thank you. I love your show. No, Frank isn't in custody. I don't know if Frank is being investigated. Mocha's talking what Mocha see. Like I said, everything here is allegedly, and in my opinion, I'm putting pieces together. I am putting pieces together. Kalali, that's a good question. I wonder if Frank is still in Detroit. I wonder if he's still in Detroit. Shannon says Shannon will turn on Annette before Jarvis. She's one desperate, despicable bitch for Jarvis. And that part. Shannon was doing everything she thought she could do to protect Jarvis, to save Jarvis from the law, no matter what had to be done, even sacrificing her own fucking blood relative. Shannon saving Jarvis and Annette saving Shannon. I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. Debbie said facts. This trial is taking so long, it's so we don't follow them. It's a good move on their part. But we will always say her name, and we will. NaZiyah is her name. That's her name. Bridget says, what boggles my mind is they're making money off this baby for their own selfish reasons. They have no remorse. They have no care, nor do they have concern. They really don't. Nick says, and like you said, October will come, still no trial. Probably just picking a jury, MOCA. Nick, I believe that. I believe that trial will not start until 2026. I believe that. Paula says, I don't think King entering jail the same time as Jarvis is Nora by chance. He was told to go to make sure Jarvis doesn't talk. Paula, that's something to think about, boo. Definitely something to think about. Miss Sean B says, yes, if people are willing to search for free, why not let them? Exactly, Miss Sean B. Exactly. Why the fuck not let them? Right, Belinda? 2 press conferences and only 1 person in jail? Get the fuck up out of here. Kalela said, I wouldn't be surprised if Frank had NaZiyah. Let me tell you, babe. Let me highlight this. She says, I wouldn't be surprised if Frank had NaZiyah. In my humble opinion, Frank had her first. Jarvis took NaZiyah to Frank first to see if she passed the test, to see if he would approve of NaZiyah. So to answer your question, Frank had NaZiyah first. That's crazy. Evidence says MOCA. I'm still at shock at all these grown ass people trafficking and possibly unaliving NaZiyah, and no one talked or told the police. No one. Where's Jarvis' older kids? Where's Jarvis' parents? I don't know. I don't know. I saw a picture of Jarvis' mom. They talking about Annette had 40 years of CPS. Jarvis' mama looked like she had 40 years of crack, and she still ain't ready to let it go. Regina says some of the cops involved. Some of them are involved. That's why they're trying to cover their steps as well. Glad one got arrested. They all need to be arrested. All of them. Hey Zilla, welcome, boo. Amma says, I think majority of the text was from NaZiyah. I know I was talking like that when I was her age. Wow. Wow. Sassy says, good point. Because Frank had or has a house right around the block from Annette's house. See what, look at the connection. Look at the fucking connection. Ree says, sending love from DC, new to your channel. Thank you, Ree. Welcome to Nola Bells. Welcome to Nola Bells. Grab yourself a seat, make yourself at home. Here, everybody is somebody. All opinions matter. And we're glad to have you here. Regina said, I'm still having trauma from being SA, but I'm alive to speak on it. Look at you, Regina. Look at you. You're a survivor. Look at you. And one day, Regina, you may want to tell your story. Shelley says, so when Jarvis took the young lady to that nice house 20 years ago, that might have been Frank's house. Shelley, that's what we're thinking. Either Frank's house or Frank's people's house. Hello to everyone that's just coming in. Regina says, so I'm gonna just close my mouth. I will speak up. I will not close my mouth. I will speak up. I will protect the kids. So Grape Ape, Magilla Gorilla Twins, and Pitbull Face and Desperado could try to come for me, but get shut down. Regina, I don't believe they want no more. I really, honestly, Regina, I don't believe they want no more. After that night, that bitch, I would hope she don't hit no more panels. Paula asks what happened to Granny's house. Did it mysteriously burn down too? Girl, burn the fuck down. Burn the fuck down. Ebony said, girl, if I was talking like that at 13, trust me, it was in my diary. I would have been embarrassed. Not only embarrassed, my mama would have had me chewing teeth. I would have been chewing teeth. I would have been the first teenager in history walking around here with no teeth, wishing them bitches grow back. Oh, no. Sassy says, no disrespect, but I don't care where Shannon's children are. I know they're probably traumatized too, but maybe someone decent from her family should save them because no one tried saving precious NaZiyah. Ooh, say that shit, Sassy. Say that shit. Patricia, good night, my love. We're about to get out of here too, Patricia. But guys, it's been a hell of a 2 hours. Oh, Regina says, I'm not scared to tell my story. And my daughter, nieces, nephews all know. I don't play when it comes to kids. I know that's right, Regina. I know that's right, Regina. Maybe one night, girl, you can hop up here and share your story with us. Taylor says, hi, Taylor. Welcome to the chat. Taylor says, I wonder if Shannon ever gonna give Jarvis the side eye when it comes to changing or bathing both his kids. Who knows? Who knows? Thank you, Regina. Regina says, always real on your channel, MOCA. Thank you, my love. And that's what these people fail to understand. All children are innocent. These children didn't ask to come here. These children did not ask to be involved in this bullshit. This is crazy. So guys, I promise you all that I was coming out tonight, not giving them more than, I said I was giving them more than 2 hours, and I'm well over that. But I'm okay with that. I just want you guys to know that I love you. I love each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much for the super chats, the super stickers, the cash apps. I appreciate it all. I really do, from the bottom of my heart, I do. This case gets deeper and stickier by the day. And being that it gets deeper and stickier by the day, every day, we're out here. Justice for NaZiyah. We're out here every day. And until next time, guys, until next time, I wish you all many blessings. I wish you safety. Love on your family. Protect our children. Tell them that they are loved no matter what. And we don't keep in-house secrets. See something, say something. Don't hold on to shit that could take you 30 years. And you still ain't right. See something. Say something. Because we're still in a place of, where the fuck is NaZiyah? Where's NaZiyah? That's all we want to know. Where is NaZiyah, damn it? And on that note, we're going to leave out of here with, where's NaZiyah? And I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Probably be a little later than 6, but I'll see you guys tomorrow night. And for that, I love you guys. I thank you all for the support. I thank you all for rocking with MOCA and the NOLA Bells. That is appreciated more than you guys will ever know. More than you guys will ever know. And for that, I want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. And until next time, mwah, love you guys.
I'm all up, that's just the start. He know the dirt, he played a part. Shannon, sis, that's still your blood. You sat back till the time was up. Oh, family sick. Annette, Roxy, Marquita too. Y'all moving funny. 4 fat bitches equal dummy. All them calls, all them signs. But y'all kept capping. All of y'all getting time. Annette, you mean spiteful witch. Let that baby suffer with a known-ass pedophile bitch. I need to talk, that's all she said. Nobody did shit. Left school and that was it. Not saying you did it, but y'all ain't innocent. Where the fuck she at? MOCA's NOLA Bells, we ain't finished. Roxy popped Say it loud, NaZiyah Harris, only 13. She deserved love, not damage. This, that platinum plus pen for justice, for fire. And this pressure, it don't expire. We not done. We.
Good night, everyone. Be blessed. I love you all, and I'll see you all tomorrow.